Shepherd representatives up, and you'll have 12 minutes. And that will complete the public organized presentations. We'll move into the public comments, and we'll begin with Deanna Spain.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Thank you for hearing us. My name is David Hance. I'm the campaign coordinator for Sea Shepherd Conservation Society. And I'm here on behalf of Sea Shepherd, as well as the hundreds of thousands of supporters who back what we do on a daily basis. All of those supporters urge you strongly to deny this Blue World application by SeaWorld. If you grant this to SeaWorld, this would disregard strong public opinion that has come about against captivity, against the cruel practices associated with forcing these highly intelligent beings into tiny tanks and forcing them to do tricks on a daily basis just to get their food. Now, SeaWorld has argued that this matter lies outside the jurisdiction of the Commission. I think we've shown that that's not true. They've also argued that this is preempted by federal law, but you guys cited earlier Section 30411B, which shows that it is within your authority to address this. What we're urging you is to listen to the hundreds of thousands of people who have beseeched you to deny this. Here's a few reasons why you should deny this. Regardless of the size of the tank, captivity is cruel, inhumane, and absolutely unjustifiable. Sea Shepherd is a global leader in cetacean protection, and we have spent decades bearing witness to and working to end cetaceans in captivity, including orcas. And I don't know if you've seen the way that these animals are brought into slavery, but it is definitely something that is not nice to witness. I myself have been in some of these countries, and I've watched this, and I've watched these babies ripped from their mothers, and I've listened to the cries of the mothers as their babies are taken away from them. Imagine, if you will, Ms. Bochco, if next year at your family reunion there's 100 Bochcos standing around, and a group of armed men come in and they take your uncle and they put him in a prison pen, and they take your brother and they put him here, and they kill your father in front of you. What's the difference between that and what happens here? SeaWorld has told us these are highly intelligent beings. They're very similar to humans. They show feelings, they show empathy. So you tell me, what's the difference? You know, since the release of the movie Blackfish, SeaWorld has been reeling from profit losses, loss of attendance, and they've gone on a big campaign to greenwash. And if you look at the things that they're doing, everything that they talk about is highly contradictory. When they're talking about this Blue World project, on one hand, they're claiming, oh, the orcas are going to have more space. But in the same breath, they're admitting that they have every intention of enslaving even more orcas. So I'm sorry, someone buy me a new calculator, but by my calculations, more orcas means less space. SeaWorld tells you that their orcas engage in natural behaviors. If that's not the most absurd statement I've ever heard, find me another one. You tell me that these magnificent creatures are forced to spend their day leaping through hoops and sliding up onto platforms, holding their mouth open to get food, when this is something they could do naturally in their own environment. You tell me how that's a natural behavior. SeaWorld claims they are educational. I don't see anything educational about seeing whales jump through hoops or carry a trainer around on their back. What are we learning from that? They say they want to educate their children. Children can be educated about whales through film, through classrooms, through books. They can go out on whale watching expeditions. You know, the price of a ticket to SeaWorld is very close to the price of a ticket on a whale watching vessel. If you can go to SeaWorld in Orlando or in San Diego, both of which are right next to the ocean, you certainly can buy a ticket and go out on a whale watching vessel. SeaWorld is not and never has been an educational facility. The last speaker's already mentioned the environmental contaminants. This project is slated to be built on one of the most polluted areas of California, and SeaWorld already has the unenviable position of being one of the largest pollutants in California. If they go forward this project, what they do here could blow all the other polluters out of the water. And I mean that quite literally. We have very serious concerns about the safety of marine animals in captive facilities in general, but particularly here in Southern California, where natural disasters are just a heartbeat away. And this is something that no one has talked about yet. Consider what happened last week in Europe at the French Riviera, when torrential rains and floods washed through one of the largest marine parks in the world, certainly the largest in Europe, Marineland. Since that flood, sharks, rays, turtles have been swept away, some of them buried, some of them never found. There's still some killer whales that may be missing. The tanks of the Orcas from this flood still to this day remain buried in mud. Their filtration systems are completely useless. Now, we're talking about the French Riviera, but if you think that can't happen here, you need to think again. Yes, we are the land of the 4-year drought. I know we're all hopeful for El Nino, but let's say we don't have torrential rains. What happens if there's just a slight tremor from the Rose Canyon fault line that runs right through the middle of San Diego? What's going to happen to these poor animals? What about a mid-sized wave, tsunami wave from a distant tremor off the ocean? What's going to happen then? What about the rise in sea level? The list goes on as to why this is not a good idea for SeaWorld. If Marineland, Europe's largest captive marine facility, can't stave off Mother Nature, I'm certain SeaWorld cannot either. We did some research and we found out that when people are talking about these conditions, and one of the things we found out is that right now you guys have nearly 2,000 pending Coastal Act violations, some of them going back almost 10 years. If you issue these conditions for SeaWorld, how do we know that this committee will be able to monitor them? If you're already backdated 10 years, I don't see how you can follow up on any further violations by SeaWorld. All we are doing is merely asking that you stand by your mission. And I went on your website last night because I wanted to make sure that I got it correct. And your mission states that you are here to protect, conserve, restore, and enhance environmental and human-based resources of the California coast and ocean for environmentally sustainable or prudent use by current and future generations. The only way to uphold your mission is to deny this permit outright. Now, I look around today and I see these signs from SeaWorld. Educate, inspire, conserve. I think we've already seen and shown that there's no such thing as education, not when it comes to this place. Inspire. I think the only thing that's being inspired is people around the world are being inspired to stop spending their money at these horrible facilities that do nothing for animals. And the biggest joke of these signs is the word conserve, conservation. The only thing they're concerned about conserving is their bottom dollar. It has nothing to do with animals. Now, all these signs, somebody had everyone stand up. You see all the signs opposing this motion. All of these people are here on their own. We didn't have to bust them in. We didn't have to give them free t-shirts. We didn't have to give them free tickets to SeaWorld. We didn't have to buy them lunch. They came here on their own because they believe in what is right and because they want you to uphold your mission. So please listen to them and not the paid people and uphold your mission. Thank you.